All right, we are getting set up here, getting going from Tenerife, live again after our little break. Just getting set up live right now from Tenerife. This is my last day here. We are back with the windsurf coaching. Actually, I haven't stopped doing coaching. I've been coaching the whole week, and the reason that I wasn't able to be here last weekend was because I've been doing a in-person clinic, an in-person masterclass in Tenerife. That's finished up. I leave tomorrow. I'm still in Tenerife, so we've got a little makeshift setup for the live stream. Hopefully it works. Let me know if you have any problems. Let me know if you can see me, hear me, all that good stuff. We've got a lot to go through in the group. Hopefully we can get through all of it. All right, I see you guys are showing up. Hey, Rich, Jorg, Dom Dom. Nice, Dom Dom. I heard that Visant was really good. Hey, Tomas, Max. Yeah, I heard Visant was really good. I'm just trying to get my chat going. Yeah, nice. Almost 1 year. Hey, Steen. So how was the session? Did anyone else sail? What were the conditions like? I'd love to hear about your sessions. Hey, Mark. Yeah, so I want to hear how everyone was doing. We've got a lot of stuff to catch up on in the group as well. It's amazing taking a week off, and the clips and questions just add up, which is great. I love to see it. Hey, Fabrice, long time no see. Really happy to see you in the chat. Everyone, Fabrice is responsible for putting together our amazing document that references all the past live streams, so you can see that in the About section, and it's the coaching directory here. Just pull this up quickly, and you can see this amazing directory, and you can say, okay, I want to learn about cutbacks. Well, I can go to the 14th of February here at this time, or double front loops, or fins, or flockas, forwards. So thank you, Fabrice, for putting in this work. Yeah, and nice to see you in the chat. Cool, sounds good, Dom Dom. Sounds fun. It's always good when you see things like fourth session, which means you've had a lot of time on the water. Nailed a few back loops. Cool. Yeah, sounds good. Carl, with some West Kirby sailing. Sounds good. I was just with another sailor from West Kirby. Tim was on the master class in Tenerife, which was nice. He's, I believe, from West Kirby. Rich, 4-1, full pull, Friday evening, 3-7. Wow. Some good wind going on. Hey, Edwards, Stin sailing in Italy, sounds nice. Rich, backflips are going better, close to landing one, sounds good. Hey, Leon. Nice, forward loops. Cool, Dum Dum, I want to hear what you worked on. Let us know. Horizontal feeling. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right, I'm going to start. I want you guys to keep telling me about your sessions. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go through and start talking about what's been posted in the group. Otherwise, we're never going to get through it all because there's just so much great stuff that was posted. I like all this analysis, Dom Dom, of when you're putting the sail horizontal, when you're getting close to the boom, and moving your knees. Hey, Axel. Yeah, it's good to see everyone. It's funny, after taking a weekend off, it feels like months, but it's good to be back. Also, I've got some new bags for giveaways. So like we did before with the giveaways at the end of, when was that? The end of last year? Or was that the beginning of this year? I can't even remember. Time is all over the place at the moment with everything going on, the world, new kids, coaching, life on the road or not on the road. So I'm not sure when we did the last giveaway, but I've got some more bags to do more giveaways, and I've got some ideas for some little competitions that we can do. I have some photo sequences that I can post in the group with questions like, what move is it? And then out of the people who guess the move correctly, we'll do a randomization to choose the winner, stuff like that. One of my favorite magazines that doesn't exist anymore, Windsport, used to do a make it or break it feature where they posted the first half of a sequence and then you had to guess whether the move was made or not, and then later they would, in the next issue, they would reveal the full sequence, whether it was a crash or a make. So we can do something like that, and then the winners get put into the random selection for the giveaways. I got some good sequences from Tenerife that we can use for the first few giveaways. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll post that in the group. I'm not sure if that will happen before next weekend. My week coming back to Europe is super busy, so we'll see how that goes. Mario, good to see you. Cool. So that's it for the housekeeping stuff. So look forward to those giveaways. Again, those will all be in the Facebook community. If you're not a member of the Facebook community, it's Graham Ezzy's Windsurf Coaching Community. We're going to be doing some giveaways, some little competitions. Look forward to that coming up. I'm not sure if I can get that stuff posted this week. I'll try, but like I said, I've got a really busy week now when I come back to mainland Europe. All right, so moving on to the posted questions, because we've got a lot of questions posted in the group, and I'm really excited to go through them. As always, if you guys have questions, post them in the chat. If you have any other comments or video or photo, post them in the Facebook group, and we will discuss during the week, and I'll address it during the Sunday live stream. I'm always looking forward to what you guys post, you guys and gals, the men and women of the group. We've got a lot of rippers from all genders. We're just coming off a great clinic in Tenerife. The masterclass was a success. I saw a lot of progress, and the point of this kind of coaching is to plant seeds as well, so you don't see all the progress during the week, but over the next 6 months. I've got some footage from the students on the course. Maybe I'll post some of that in the group at some point. That probably won't happen this week, maybe the week after. See how my schedule pans out. All right, I'm getting into the questions posted in the group. Again, if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to interrupt me. If you're just joining, say hi. Let me know if you sailed this week. All right, so we got this question from Steen. Hi all. I'm currently at a beautiful flat water spot, but normally not such a freestyler. Oh, this is an old question. Okay, so we've got a, cool, so we covered this in the stream, and now we've got a follow-up. Oh, I love this. Thank you, Steen, for following up. I want to see more follow-ups. If you guys have asked a question and it was answered on the stream, and you had the opportunity to implement what we talked about on the water, I want to hear about how that worked. So let's quickly go through this. Quick note to let you know how this went. When learning to surf, I moved to sailing only waves as fast as I could, because that's what I enjoyed by far the most. Basically, I didn't do any flat water since then. Now, forced in flat water conditions because there are no waves around, and experiencing that it really helps. Practicing some things on water, light wind, big board, accelerates the learning process significantly. Probably known to most of you, but an eye-opener for me, so thought I'd share. Thanks again for the suggestions. Improved almost all of them. So I want to hear more. Let us know. You're in the chat. Steen, what works? What specifically? Tell us about some of the specifics. If I were to answer this question again, I can't remember what I said on the live stream, but I would say working on the rail-to-rail work and then working on your tacks, fast tacks, really pay off. All right, so let us know. I'm waiting for your answer in the chat. All right, so is this Michael or Michelle? How do you pronounce it properly? Hey Jeff, was great to see you in Tenerife. Let us know what you're working on. What are your takeaways? All right, so Michael wants to choose a sail. He's looking for a cheetah sail, and there's a lot of great comments in here of different people's experiences. He's wants to do the 6.5 and 7.5. Some people are saying you only need the 7.5 or only need the 7.0, and some people are saying yes, 6.5, 7.5, and everyone's got their own reasons. So I think there's enough information here, Michael, for you to make your choice. I generally think once you get above 6 and you're in the free ride sales, 1 square meter is fine. I mean, some people do go more than that, but I think if you really want complete wind range, 1 square meter is a good gap. All right, Mert got a comment. Hey Bjorn, Mert's got a comment. Suggestion: maneuver-oriented wind foiling, especially in light winds that plague the summers. Yeah, that also sounds cool. Do you have video of that? I want to see some video. All right, so we've got a question about a new waveboard. I think this is answered also pretty well. So the questions are between a couple different board options, or 3 different board options between the Decurve and the Quattro. I love the Decurve 82, but the Quattro seems better for your weight. Again, let us know what you choose and why and how it works. All right, we're moving a little quickly just because we've got so much to go over. So downwind 360. I don't think we fully talked about this. Let me turn off the sound because this was before my last. I don't think we fully talked about this. One of the big recommendations is more speed. That makes a lot of sense. You can also do it out of the straps or come out of your front strap. I don't know if you can already do it out of the front strap or out of the straps. But that is a good transition step. So Mark, let us know, can you already do it? So, okay, you say you can do them in low wind out of the straps. Can you do them with more wind also out of the straps? And there's a transition step where you just come out of the front strap and you put that front foot really far forward near the mast track to help push the nose going straight again. That's, I think, a really good transition step. Having more speed definitely helps. And then really pushing that sail forward to the nose and not leaning. So for example, when you're coming around here, you really want to be driving the sail more towards the nose rather than simply pushing out against it. Does that make sense? So your front hand is also pushing forward, right? You know, you can see it here holding close to your chest, and you want to also drive that more forward. I'm going to try to look for some of my footage of some carving 360s. I know I have some. It's just a matter of where it is. I'll post it in the group. I don't want to waste the time on the stream. Yeah, it's interesting what you guys are saying about the foiling. You know, I don't do a lot of foiling. I know other people who do, and they enjoy it. For me, that's not my focus. But I love hearing about what works for people and what you enjoy. So cool. All right, we've got this post from Stina, local ripper from Denmark and new house owner. Congratulations, Stina. Yeah, I love these photos. You're ripping. I love these little aerials. Yeah, great. I love this one. I love this one. This one looks so close too. I mean, it looks like you're landing it landing inside, I mean, yeah, you can land more inside, but and maybe you're not carrying the speed all the way through. I think that's what you're saying here. But really beautiful turn. You're really getting the right contact, on the high five on this section. And the wave's not throwing very much. One of the secrets to aerials is you really want a wave that's throwing to let the wave do the work for you. I really like this one. There's so many elements of this that are correct. And so if you're looking at your photos, Stina, you want to be close to this feeling. Like this is, I think, of all these sequences, I think this is the best one. Here, I mean, this is a great off the lip, but the angle and timing is not what you want to do for an aerial. So you're not going to get launched into the air. But it's a nice turn. You're really getting that high five. I mean, look, you can really see the bottom of your board, making that contact with the wave. You can see that your timing is correct so that when the wave is pushing, it's making that contact with the bottom of the board. This is also a really nice one. I really like this turn. Again, this is not, if you want to do an aerial, I mean, this is not an aerial, but it's a great off the lip. And your question is also more complicated. It's not just about how to do aerials. It's about off the lips versus aerials, which is harder. I think off the lips can tend to be more difficult. Once you start getting into tweaked aerials, then it's a different story. The tweaked aerials can definitely start getting more difficult. But I really like this turn. You're really making great contact with the lip. You've got a lot of power in it. Seems like you're coming out with a lot of speed, right? I can see you're not getting hung up in the whitewater at all. You could put your hands a little bit closer together. It looks like you're kind of coming off the bottom turn and not really moving the hands. Yeah, you could. It's not a necessity for these kind of off the lip, and for aerials, you don't really want to move your hands close together because you want to keep that power in your sail. And really, one of the tricks for aerials is about letting the wave do the work for you. I don't know if I have. I've shown videos from aerials on the stream before. Oops. Let's see if I can get this to work. Let's see if I can find some aerials just to give that example. Meanwhile, let me catch up on the chat quickly. Sistine saying, had especially light wind conditions, so a lot of large board practice, sail movements, heli tacks, backwind, clue first, etc. Cool. And also happy to hear that you had a good wave session. So here's an example of a tweaked air. Oops. Don't need to rename it. Here's an example of a tweaked air where, I mean, this increases the difficulty a lot of the aerial. But in aerial like these I'm about to show you, which are in down the line conditions, so it's a bit of a different story. It's more about timing than anything else. It's about timing and placement. And so there's not a lot of technical skill involved. But if you can see, I'm carrying speed. I'm not even really doing much of a bottom turn, which is another trick for aerials, especially when you're learning them. You can kind of cheat and not really do a bottom turn. And so I do this kind of really shallow bottom turn. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it, carrying my speed down the line. I'm not pointing out to sea at all. When I'm hitting the lip, my board is pointing in towards the beach. And I think that is important, and it's less stylish. I mean, the more stylish aerials are the ones where your board is pointing out to sea, but it's easier to do them when the board is pointing into the beach, and so they're good to learn that way. And then it's all about timing, and so you can see that I'm hitting the lip exactly when it starts to throw, and so then it launches me forward in front of the wave. And this kind of maneuver actually doesn't require much technique. It's all about timing and placement. And there's a fear factor too, because this section's a little heavy. But just the point is that it's not technically difficult. It's just about being in the right place at the right time, with everything lined up in the right way. Here's another example. I think this is a very similar one. And so again, you can see I'm not really bottom turning. I'm going pretty straight. When I hit the lip, my nose is pointing into the beach. I'm looking down the line where I'm going, and I make contact with the lip as it starts to throw. And so that force that's in the lip of the wave as it throws just throws me with it in front. And it's really not very technically difficult at all. It's just a matter of lining up the timing. I think we've got a few more that are a little bit hopefully a little bit closer to the conditions that you might see in Denmark. So here's an example. You can see I'm really facing the board towards the beach before taking off, and this is a pretty, I'm not doing a good job, this one, but it's a little aerial. And you can see that it's kind of just about the timing, the placement. Here's another one. Here I'm do more of a real bottom turn, but again, you can see that by the time I'm hitting the lip, my board is pointing back into the wave, which just makes it a lot easier to launch back into the wave, right? If you're already directed into the wave, and then you can see with my head, I'm looking down the line at where I'm going to land. And most important is getting that timing lined up. So you can see just as the wave is pitching forward, I get that high five with the bottom of my board. Right? So the wave, you can see the wave is setting up. There it starts to pitch forward, catches the bottom of the board, and throws me. All right, is there lagging? If we're lagging, let me know. Okay, that's annoying. That's super annoying for this. Let me know if you guys are still able to see what I mean with all this stuff. So, I'm giving some kind of just broad conceptual strokes about the down the line aerial, and hopefully some of it resonates. Here's one that's maybe a little bit more mushy, where I do a little tweak, and again, I'm really using my legs as springs and really pushing off of the lip, but still getting that high five. So I'm still connecting with the wave in the moment that it starts to pitch forward. And again, this section is not very curly, so I get my little bit of air, throw the tail up, come back into the wave. Looks like I fall, but I don't. I swear I don't. All right, sorry that this is lagging. Stina, does that answer your question? We can talk more about this. This is a great question, a great topic, and you're making so much good progress. I love seeing your pictures in progress. All right, Axel, moving the hands, it really depends. So it's important to move the hands to help unweight the sail, to help reposition your body. There are times where it's more important and less important. Do those times correlate with wind strength? It's probably more important to move the hands when the wind is strong, but I think there are still reasons to move the hands even when the wind is lighter. But it depends on the kinds of turn you're doing. So I think you can go more vertical if you are moving your hands a lot. But experiment with it. There are reasons to move your hands and also reasons not to. Definitely, if there's more wind, moving the hands becomes more important. All right, we've got next question. Carl posted this video. There's a dog barking outside. I hope that's not too distracting. This backloop video. Carl, great to see you posting in the group. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Denmark. This is a good backloop attempt. One of the things that we've talked about in the backloop, and I think really applies here because you're doing a really good job of going up, breaking the back loop into the going up and the coming down part. So you go up, it looks like you're taking off into the wind. You could maybe take off a little bit more upwind, but the ramp also looks somewhat tricky, like wouldn't necessarily allow that. What I'd like to see you do is really move your hands forward towards the nose of the board. So it's like if your back, I don't know if you guys can fully see me, kind of if your back is straight, so obviously you're looking with your head, but then you're moving your hands towards the nose of the board. And so this motion with the hands, so moving the hands towards the nose of the board, and that will help complete the end of the rotation, helps kill the power in the sail, and steer you towards the landing. I think that will help. It's hard for me to see because this is a bit zoomed out. It might be that you could take off a little bit more into the wind. But those things, along with the head stuff that you already mentioned, will help. All right, we've got a post from Mark about stalled forwards. I don't know why my Facebook player is going all weird. So I would love to see the takeoff on this one. We kind of start right at the middle. So Carl and Mark, if you guys have the takeoff on this, I'd like to see it because I think that will help. Like this is the biggest one from the video, and that would help me give some feedback. I mean, these are awesome. You're really going for it. I love to see these forwards. I'm not sure what exactly you're looking for in terms of the coaching. If you want more stall or more height. So you say you're working on moving the rig to the left and turning the head better. Both of those sound good. Yeah, Mark, are you still in the chat? I think you showed up a little bit ago. Can you tell me a little bit more what you're aiming for here? I mean, I think these look great. I mean, so it really depends what you're trying to do. I'd like to see some where you're taking off more upwind and getting more height like a back loop and then going for the rotation. I think that would be really interesting. As sort of the next level of the stalled forward, but it looks like you're ready for it. And you don't want to take off with your grip too wide. So what I like to do is take off with kind of normal grip, kind of go up like a back loop, but then I start steering downwind and moving the sail to the left, which is a really comfortable position actually to sit in, and sort of bringing your weight over the board, leveling off the board, and then you can reach back, look back, and do the rotation. But taking off more upwind will help with that. I wish that the entry on this jump was caught on video, because this one is a lot bigger than the rest. This is a nice big stall forward. And I would love to see how you go into this. But I mean, you're doing them, you're landing them, so it's a matter of small degrees for what you want to improve. I think taking off a little bit upwind will be interesting. I mean, it's sort of the next level of doing the stall. These are going into the wind. Okay, okay. It's hard for me to tell where the wind is exactly. Really getting that sail across, which you did mention in the comment, is a really nice feeling. You just have to make sure that you're over your board. If you're back and putting the sail across, it leads to a weird, just a weird position that doesn't work. I see some people trying that, and so you want to make sure that you get over the board. For all the different forwards, Dom asks, is the takeoff position of the mast always the same? No, I don't think so. I'm not sure if I know exactly what you mean, but no, I don't think so. So for doing the planing forwards and the speed loops, you're more upright and then doing the rotation and then landing. And for the stalled ones, you kind of take off more back, and then you come over the gear, and then you're more beside the gear before you start to rotate. It's such a nice feeling, Mark. Once you get it, it's a kind of locked in, easy feeling. And it's just moving the rig across the body. And you don't have to do it on huge jumps. You can practice it on pretty small forwards. And that would be the way that I recommend practicing it. Don't just do it on the big ones. But I mean, great job. I really like what I see, especially this first one. This first one looks huge. I mean, we don't see the takeoff, but yeah, good job. So Dom asks, at takeoff, should the mast be vertical or already leaning on the side? For which jump? For which kind of forward? All right, Albert asks, and Dom, I am waiting for you to respond. Albert asks, I'm eager to correct the forward, but here we have only 1 to 2 days per month of suitable conditions, and I can only do 3 to 5 attempts per session. This is clearly not enough. For an attempt, I need a very good ramp and reliable wind in the same place and same time. Usually one of them is missing. How could I improve the tactics? Maybe learn to jump from bad ramps, smooth wave without a lip, learning to jump underpowered, barely planing. Yeah, I think all of these actually work. Smooth waves are good for learning forwards as long as they're big enough. And speed is your friend, so you don't want to be going too slow. This is, I think, something that is counterintuitive with forwards or all jumping. You know, that if you're going slower, you're barely planing. You actually have more force in the sail. So the faster you're going relative to the wind, the lighter the sail feels, and the easier a lot of these jumps are. And so it's when you're scared and kind of pulling back, or you don't have enough power, there's actually more pull in the sail and things get more difficult. There's some exercises that you can do. Where are you? So Albert, I want to hear, where are you in the forward loop journey? So have you done any rotations before? I'm going to just write this. Where are you in the forward loop journey? Have you done any rotations? Or are you still looking to do your first rotation in the straps? Because my advice is different actually based on where you are. Because if you're just trying to improve your forward loops, then these conditions are great, and I can give you some tips for that. If you are trying to learn forward loops, I also have exercises you can do in these conditions. So it sounds like you're trying to learn the forwards, but just confirm that, Albert, and I'll give you some exercises. I've already gone through some exercises on the stream that might be in the workbook, but I don't mind going through them again. It's always good to ask questions more than once because I might give a slightly different answer, or someone else might be in the chat giving their own advice, and it's fine. Some great advice about lotions and ointments. A lot of people on my clinic just now that just finished the masterclass, they just finished, brought their own lotions and ointments. They were also really interesting. I don't remember the names. I'll figure out the names and I'll post them in here. Dennis, I'm not sure if you're in the chat. If you are, let us know what that was that you were using. All right. So DomDom's asking, at takeoff, should the mast be vertical or already leaning to the side? I think if you're doing stalled ones, the mast is more vertical, and you're taking off, kind of like a back loop. And if you're doing more of a speed loop or planing forward, the mast can be either vertical or it can be, already at the point where you're starting to throw it up. DomDom says, I have the feeling that sometimes I'm leaning too early and I got stuck. I wonder if I should be careful to put the sail across only after the takeoff, thus to always have the mast vertical at takeoff. Yeah, that sounds fine. I don't really think about leaning the mast until I'm in the air, ever. Michael's going to Maui. He's got a question about what sail to take. 5-0, 4-0, 4-5, all three. Depends on the excess baggage. You're probably fine just taking 4-5 and 5-0. There's not a lot of 4-0 days on Maui, but they can happen. So it's always a little bit of gamble. The thing with Maui, though, is it is easy to get gear. So whatever your choice, you can find something on Maui. There's a lot of gear around Maui, so you can rent, demo. It's not hard to find something to sail. So if it is a hassle, just bring your 4-5 and your 5-0, and then demo or rent if you need something smaller. You probably don't need the 4-0 very much, but it can be a really, really windy August. But you can look at the forecast before you leave. My forecast is generally pretty reliable, at least a week in advance. Jan asks about ultra thin Kevlar mesh neoprene socks or boots. I don't have experience with this. I have the Atan split toe, and they're fine. At the time when I was doing research, when I was getting my boots, they were the best that I could find for the feel I wanted. I don't know. I still prefer not to sail with boots. But you guys have a lot of great answers, and that's cool. And I'm keen, as I do more winter sailing, I'm keen to know stuff like this. Tristan, that's an interesting comment. Wave 360 into forward. Yes, I have seen some of those. Who's done them? I've seen Mark Angulo do them. I've seen Alex Mussolini do them. Francisco Goya, I think, as well. I've come pretty close, at least landing on my back. I think I've seen Costa do them. Yeah, wave 360 to forward, but off the back of the wave. In front of the wave is a different story. Um, but yeah, they're cool move nonetheless. I'd love to see a video of one. I've seen it. There are a few videos, and I've seen some in real life, and I've landed on my back on some myself. Um, Especially when the waves are big, you can really get kicked around in a 360 and then come around in a forward. This is an old post from Mateo. Hey Greg, just saying hi. All right, we got some back loops from Lucage. Got some good discussion going on here. I like that you're splitting this into two motions, just going up and coming down. You need to take off a lot more upwind, So find the place upwind that's too far upwind, and then do a little bit less of that. But I like that you're splitting it into two motions. Taking off more upwind will really help you. It makes that rotation a lot easier. And then it looks like you're looking with your head. We're a little bit zoomed out. I want to see you push, like we already talked about, pushing the sail towards the nose of the board and doing this motion with your arms. I hope you guys can see me, where you're pushing the sail towards the nose of the board. You can also take a wider grip as well. Pretty much you want to be sheeting in on the way down and pushing the sail forward. Those two things will really help you. Taking up more upwind, then pushing the sail forward on the way down. And really using the head. It's hard to see with this video because it's kind of zoomed out. But the head motion is super, super important. And really, you're really opening your shoulders, keeping your back straight, really looking over with your head. All right, lots of discussion about riding thrusters. I gave my answer here. Yeah, so I think this is pretty well answered. So if you guys want to check this out, you can search the fin setup hashtag in the group. Yeah, so there's quite a few answers that I already wrote in here. Pretty much, I like the thrusters more than the quads in general because they accelerate better from in the bottom turn from here to here, whereas the quads want to then go into the cutback and do kind of turns like this, whereas with the thruster I can whip the drive the last part of the turn. Also having the extra depth gives me the confidence to push on it as hard as I want, whereas with the quad sometimes I feel like I have to find the right balance of pushing hard and not pushing hard. And then also I can find the fins more easily, so if I land a big aerial or another move or an off the lip, sometimes the fins give out a little, and with having the extra depth of the thruster, it's easier for them to catch again, for me to find them again. This is a great comment from Mark. Yes, I really encourage doing clue first wave riding, and I believe in these comments a bunch of people have found some really cool videos of it from competitions. Clue first wave riding is something I really recommend doing as training in onshore conditions or not, and it's great to put in there. Mario asked, do I know why Callie prefers quads? Callie really likes the turns that look like this. I think that's really the kind of riding that he's trying to do, and he's doing less of the the really vertical bottom turns. He's really getting these rail to rail turns like that. But I can ask him. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, Thomas says we need better whip zippers on 6mm suits. Agreed. Cool. I think that's everything. I think that's everything from the group. We're all caught up. I've got to go. I've got to finish up my last few things here. I've got also a busy day tomorrow before I head out, and I fly out. And then I've got a super busy week. I'm going to Berlin. Got to do some things at the U.S. consulate there for my son, and have some meetings, some PWA board meetings, lots of things going on once I get back to Europe. So this is a busy week. Got to prepare for it. If you guys have more questions, post them in the group. Uh, if you're getting wind, get some photos, get some video, get some questions, post them all in the group. Um, I love seeing that. I missed that. I missed it this last week. So it's great to chill with you guys again on a Sunday, go through the footage. Everyone is ripping. I'm so impressed with the footage. Mark, those are huge forwards. Stina, great off the lips. Um, really, really ripping. I'm impressed with everyone. So good job. I want to see more of it. And yeah, I'll what do I have to post? So let me ask Callie about thrusters, and then I was gonna post something else. What was I gonna post? Can you guys remind me? What was I gonna post? I was gonna post a video of something in the group. Oh, forward loop exercises. I think that was it. Oh, and the carving 360. So Albert, you've got to let us know where you are in the forward loop journey, and I'll post some exercises that align with it. Post some downward 360 stuff. Ask Callie about his fins, and then I've got the giveaways to do as well. So keep your eyes peeled for the giveaways. We're going to do those in the group. Yeah, thanks, Tina. Thanks, everyone. Have a good windy week, and I look forward to seeing your footage and your photos, and maybe even seeing you on the water. Who knows? If it's windy, let me know, and maybe I'll show up. All right, take care, everyone.